right, episode 2, uncensored. We're doing one every week. Why? Because once again, I've been the propaganda of people in the space that are deeply connected to me have told me to keep pushing organic content. I'm going to continue doing it, whether or not people love it or hate it. I'm just here to provide value, and once again, I don't like being in front of a camera, but I'm doing it for the culture. I'm here with Mr. Cigar Aficionado Hagen Wong. This is my fitness coach. As you can see,
Resilience.
I have a lack of bicep that this guy has, man. But he's getting you right, you know, day by day. It's a start, right? I'm not completely down the deep end, or so some people think. But I want this episode to be just an authentic conversation between me and Hagen, because we've been through a lot of shit individually before we got to know each other in these few short months in Tampa, and have established a pretty meaningful business relationship and friendship since then.
Absolutely.
But this before we met, as well as what we've learned as we've worked together. That was a good cut, man. I'm gonna give myself props for that. According to my standards, which isn't saying much. Okay.
That was way too much of a cut, but it's cool.
You know, I gotta get that little radius on there. You know what I'm saying? And
I gotta get just a little bit.
Dude, I went a little bit too far, man. It's all right.
Cool.
You know, what can I say? Okay, so what I want this to be is a conversation authentically about 5 lessons that they don't tell you when you start entrepreneurship. Who's they? It's the people you saw online that probably got you into the game, okay? Yeah. Most people get other people into the game through social media. What was the first time, like when did you, who or what made you decide to get into fitness coaching online? Because you were doing it in person, you're a professional. Yep. Talk about your background a little bit.
Yeah, so for those of you guys who don't know me, this is probably going to be posted on your channel, right? I've been working as a personal trainer for about 7 years now. I did my bachelor's in exercise science with a focus on strength and conditioning and body transformation. So throughout that time, I was working as an in-person trainer. After graduating, I was working in a gym as an in-person trainer as well. And eventually, you know, I started seeing these ads all over, I guess, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. And they were like, why are you spending all these hours in the gym working with these one-on-one clients when you could be doing it online? And I was like, yeah, that actually makes sense, because I was already doing that. I was already taking clients under the table aside from my in-person clients in the gym, because I was pretty good at my job. So I would sign on so many clients in person that I would run out of time. Like, There's only so many hours in the day. I was already taking on like 6-7 clients a day. So I couldn't take on more clients. Plus the clients that I wasn't able to close with the gym package, I would sell them a lower tier, but coach them online. So I was like, oh shit. Like after a couple months, I was like, I'm actually making money on the side from taking on these clients under the table without the gym knowing. I'm going to keep building that up until like I'm making decent revenue. So it got to a point after like a year or two, my side business, my online business was like making 6 figures.
Yeah.
So I was like, why am I still working at an in-person gym? So immediately, like I quit the gym, and before I quit the gym, I like basically took all the clients from the gym, moved them online, and I decided, you know what, I'm gonna start this online thing full time. The Hormozy model, man, with gym launch, right?
Gym launch.
So yeah, and then I moved down here to Tampa, right? And I was like, okay, now I'm a full-time online trainer. How do I get more clients? And then I started, you know, researching on YouTube, Google, and then of course, if you start doing that, you start getting bombarded by ads, and then
before you know it. Okay, so what's interesting about this, man, is you're getting bombarded with these ads, which we all are nowadays, and especially back in the day. This is pre-pandemic, man. I mean, it started this Instagram ad space started going crazy in like 2016, 2017. You got a few years on me, so you had already matured into business for yourself before I did. But dude, so you're being inundated with all of this marketing content, but at the same time, you're kind of bootstrapping your adventure through figuring out yourself how to take your clients online. Mm-hmm. So it's fair to say that you figured out through the hard path of going through the cycle of what you had to go through on your own to get to retaining clients online, as opposed to like you didn't just straight dive into someone's program the first day, right? Or did you?
No. So I first, it's funny because I was in Andrew Tate's The Real World.
Okay.
Like $49.99.
Yeah, so was I, bro, back in the day.
Like general business advice. Yeah. I thought that was the key to me, like scaling my fitness business. which it gave me a lot of good basic information. I'm not gonna like, you know, put it down, but it wasn't like the specific niche information that I needed for my particular fitness business, right? And then I was like, okay, you know what? This is not what I need. It was a good start. I got my fundamentals down, like what it takes actually to run a business, or so I thought. And then I joined my first business coach program. That was like $5K, put it on a credit card. Didn't have the funds, but I did it anyways. And I actually did really well in that program. Within 27 days, I made another 10K. But then that was it. That was it. Like there was no more. And I thought I was like on top of the world making 10K, which looking back now, I feel like an idiot. It's not. But it's still
a good accomplishment, because I feel like a lot of people watching that maybe haven't hit that level, or maybe in the 1 to 5K range and just barely replacing their income, or maybe they're making more than they did because they don't have a formal education, right?
Right.
But that's also shit that people don't talk about. Is people try and pride on the 10K a month. It's like, dude, if you close your first deal online, that's already a big victory, and you should pat yourself on the back.
Yeah.
I think we tend to be our worst critics, but especially in the online space, people promise the world.
Yep.
And how about let's start at the fundamentals and charge people on a scale-in basis? It's something I never understood is, if I were to be in the coaching and consulting space, which I would never be because I value my life, I'm talking about, sorry bro, I'm not talking about fitness coaching.
I understand.
I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about.
Coaches, marketers, coaching,
affiliate,
I understand.
MLM, right?
Yep.
I can't do that. I know you can't do that either.
I wouldn't do that.
It's stain on a conscience, bro. And the thing is, bro, is with that, I don't get why, if you have a program like that and you're watching this, yeah, you can charge people high ticket, I'm worth my value, whatever. But if you got a kid who's in college who can only afford $500 a month in expendable income, which is asking a lot anyways out of a kid in college, especially with today's economic conditions, inflation, right? Scale in them. Okay, so make them pay maybe a couple $100 to get in the program, and then they'll actually get the money from the knowledge, and then piggyback off of the commission that you get them through being a mentor for them. I don't get why people don't do that, bro. Actually, I get why people don't do that, because they're not willing to put in the work, right? So
also, they probably learned from a different coach, hey, you got to charge these prices, because that's how you live that freedom.
You know what's crazy, bro, is I never thought about that. It's like a momentum train of people who have been burnt by people that they already spent a lot of money on. So they feel like they have to then offload that cost to other people.
Yeah.
Like I've been scammed $12,000 out of a marketing agency, and I'm actively pursuing.
As have I.
Yeah, I'm actively pursuing a lawsuit actually right now against that marketing agency. And if you're watching this, or you have accomplices who are watching this, you very well damn know that you changed your LLC name halfway through my demand letter being sent from my attorney to you. And you changed your address with the IRS and moved residences at the same time. So I know it's not just me. I know that you got multiple clients, and I can get a class action going, but that's besides the point. I just don't like people that scam and lie, right? And that's kind of the point of my first few pieces of content, and probably just, I guess I'm building my personal brand around that. It's just, I want to be authentic and honest, but like I'll be the first to tell people I didn't get a result. Like I don't care, man, I'm human. What I'll say is, yeah, man, I think there is very much this train of like, I spent 12K, and so therefore I have to offload this 12K onto somebody else. Mm-hmm. So I obviously want to entertain, another 15, 20 minute video as opposed to a 45-minute video. And I'm going to get you on, hopefully on my podcast, and we'll do more content because I think people already fuck with you off the first 5 minutes. But I want this to be literally like 5 tidbits. I have 3 in mind, but I want you to choose your own 2. We didn't plan this, bro. I want you to choose 2. These are specifically lessons that literally no one else talks about online.
Okay, I already have one in mind.
Literally nobody else.
I already have one in mind.
You start us off, man.
So you see all the time, like ads on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube. Oh, make 10K a month, 10K a month. Then you can live that freedom lifestyle where you can work from anywhere and do whatever you want. And that's preying upon people who are obviously making less than 10K a month. Mm-hmm. But here's the thing. When you make 10K a month, at least for me in the fitness niche, that's like the hardest part.
It is.
10 to 25 to 30K a month, that's the hardest part. You know why? Because you're wearing every hat in your business. You're doing everything. You're doing the sales calls. You're doing the marketing. You're doing the fulfillment. You literally don't have time to be traveling all around. And if you want to make 10K a month or 15K a month or 20K a month and be able to maintain that revenue, I mean, talk about ad spend and marketing expenses and like actually taking the time to provide a good service for your clients, which would be hours and hours of fulfillment every week.
Yep.
You can't just travel the world and live a free life and pay off a bunch of debt after you make 10K a month. Like, there's overhead in your business.
Yeah.
So I see these ads all the time, and it's just like different clips of people like on speedboats, on fucking yachts, on like supercars. Like, you really think if you make 10K a month, you can go on a yacht and get a supercar and fucking traveling everywhere?
You know what's crazy? You can't even afford to rent them.
No.
That 10K a month.
Bro, it's retarded. But all these ads, dude, they're selling the dream. But once you hit 10K a month, because I've hit it already, you realize that you're actually in the hardest part of your journey, and you've actually only just begun. Mm-hmm. And there's so much more to it. And that goes back to what you were saying about like what we don't know about entrepreneurship. I didn't even know. Like, I thought, dude, if I hit 10K a month, job done. Like, I'm gonna be chilling. But no, bro, it's only just begun, and it's only getting harder.
Yeah.
So
10K a month, right, can be achieved with a lot of entry-level college degrees nowadays. And so it's actually not beating inflation. And so the problem is with 10K a month, right? 10K a month during the pandemic, fantastic. Nowadays, you want like 12.5, 17.5, 20K a month to actually feel the same way you would have with 10K a month back in the pandemic, right? Because of inflation.
Right.
And other factors, saturation and competition. This is just supply and demand. Now, what's interesting, I like that you pointed out that this whole yacht, this and the other, okay? You know very damn well if you're someone making 100K a month who's selling a 10K a month dream as a coaching offer, that is not correlated to what they're going to see when they hit 10K a month, what your students are going to see.
Yep.
If one of you motherfuckers would just put out an ad where you guarantee the 10K a month result, but the background of like the reel is like a kid who is finally able to afford a down payment on a Toyota Camry and is finally able to like look at an ad dashboard and see bigger numbers than he's ever dealt with, and is wearing maybe a decent fucking ASRV tank top with a nice hoodie, and is like able to drive around and be flexible. That's what it is, bro. That's 10K a month, right? So the problem is it doesn't sell. You got to show the Lamborghini and stuff like that. So what you guys got to start doing is you got to start selling. This is why I like info products, because what I do is I position products in front of service-based companies, just like I position products that are for development, like physical products. And it's the same principle of you have something that just provides value up front for such a low cost to the end user, right? That by the time you have a conversation with them, they understand what 10K a month looks like. Like, I don't want you guys to be scamming someone into the dream off of 10K a month on your ads. Why don't you just drive ads to value for a low ticket so someone can afford it, and then have a conversation with them like the big mentor, brother, and father that you should be over that individual, especially that young man who's trying to get into it. So I always argue that you're going to do that 10K a month guarantee. How about you actually understand the pains of your individual client? Are their parents divorced? Were they homeless last year? Are they in their last year of college thinking about dropping out? That's your average client, but you guys seem to think that you can just sell this sterile roadmap to them, which humans are not sterile, and neither were you when you started your business, right? That's a good lesson. I'll do lesson number 2. We can pick.
Yeah, and on top of that, so one thing I realized is that like a lot of these, because what you were talking about, like coaches coaching coaches, marketers marketing to marketers.
So stupid.
A lot of these fitness business coaches out there, they made a little bit of money with fitness. They realized how hard it is, because let's face it, it's fucking hard to own a fitness business, okay? Like, if you guys are not in the fitness industry, you don't understand. But if you guys are fitness coaches, you understand exactly what I'm talking about. The fucking fulfillment, the marketing. Like, you're literally selling the hardest thing there is. You're basically convincing somebody to spend money to make sacrifices and do shit that they don't want to do to achieve a dream result in their physique, right? That's fucking hard to sell, right? But what I was going to say is that a lot of these fitness business coaches, they make a little bit of money from fitness coaching. They realize it's too hard, and like, oh, you know what? I could make more money teaching other trainers how to get online. Mm-hmm. Because you can sell that as a higher ticket, because it's like B2B, and it's like you can charge like a 5K, 6K, even a 10K ticket. So then a lot of these fitness business coaches, they get rich off of coaching other fitness coaches, teaching them how to get their training business online. and then they use the money that they make from that to market themselves as, oh, I was this successful as a fitness coach, when in reality you weren't. You made that money from coaching other coaches, not from actually running a fitness business, a B2C fitness business, helping people transform their bodies.
I want to start seeing y'all's entity structures with Stripe accounts and EINs verified on Stripe Atlas, with your SS4 form from the IRS and your articles of formation tied to your business checking accounts with a letter of affidavit from your bankers. Because if I don't start seeing that shit, I'm not convinced that your $100K a month Stripe account was your fitness coaching business. I am forever convinced that it was your coach's business, right? Yeah. The reason why Hagen is not jumping into that pile,
which I could.
You could tomorrow.
I could.
He's got the skill set.
Yeah.
Is because he has ethics and morals, right? You're a husband and you have a daughter, okay? Most of you motherfuckers that are on the yachts partying with girls that will never value you as a husband, okay, don't understand what it's like to have a kid and the wife. I don't either, so I'm not speaking out of experience, but I'm speaking by proxy. It's a different level of locked in, spiritually, emotionally, mental dedication, right? And so you get to a point where you can't look in your daughter's eyes and then look in a client's eyes and scam them, because you see humanity in people at the same level of your self-worth as a man, right? Or as a woman, right? So I think what's interesting, the point you bring up is like, you could start that tomorrow if you wanted to.
Start a new Instagram account.
But the thing is, dude, is it's like, you're just going to like hate it more internally.
Yeah.
Because you might get that more money, but you're going to be like, dude, I know that I'm selling other Hagens of the future, what I've gone through, but without a guaranteed result.
Yep.
So you're going to be like, fuck, I can't do it. Right?
Yeah, and I could just say like, oh, the reason why you didn't get results was because you didn't work hard enough.
Yep. Literally.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay. Lesson number 2. Okay, I'll pivot into this. Lesson number 2 is honesty is the new currency. Honesty will sell better than results. I'll tell you right now, I'll be the first to tell you in the online space, honesty will sell better than results, okay? What do I mean by this? If you get a client signed for your marketing business, right? And you guarantee them $5,000 in profit per month, okay? And let's say you only hit $3,000 in the first month with that client. A lot of you lose clients and a lot of you lose people off of the fact that you don't have a solid connection or foundation with them as an individual. If you go to somebody and you go after that month 1, you only get $3,000 in profit, and you tell that person, hey, listen, I know we only drove $3,000 in profit. We just broke even. We didn't get $5,000 as I guaranteed. If you wanted, we have solid momentum, but I will never force upon you the next month on contract. Why? Because we didn't get the result. I apologize. Here's a 6-pack of beers as a consolidation. I hope that you and I both learned something mutual. Let's shake hands and smile and walk off into the sunset. Or at your discretion, we can continue and see if it continues to scale. At the very least, do another month. Would you be open to try that, or would you like to cut ties? No hard feelings. You guys aren't willing to do that because you're scared of losing retention. Tell me why, if you're making high ticket money, MRR, monthly recurring revenue, why you should be scared to lose retention. You can afford to get a client tomorrow, right? So why are you hanging on to the fruit, the rotten fruit of the results you know you couldn't drive for certain people by just not being transparent and honest? Honesty goes so far in business, and it feels like business, the way it was conducted from before the Great Depression to maybe Y2K in the early 2000s, was completely disrespected by business that was conducted in the last decade or so, right? People have fucked up the code of honor in business. There's no more mafia code in business. There's no more code of honor. There's no more honesty, no more accountability, and no more transparency. As a man, I should be able to look Hagen in the eye and be like, I'm sorry we didn't hit the target. Would you like to continue, or would you not like to continue? And as a man, you should be able to come to me and like, I'm sorry we didn't hit your weight goal. Do you want to continue, or do you want to take a rest and reevaluate the program, right? You guys need to start doing that. You guys need to start injecting that into your infrastructure, because it's going to suck when you have to go to court over the 10th client that you scammed because you weren't able to have a man up conversation with it. Even this applies to women who are entrepreneurs too. A man up, a balls in conversation about, right, the fact that you didn't get exactly what you proposed. Just be fucking, I don't know if you want to comment on this, dude.
Yeah, bro, that it's just how it is, and it's funny you say all that stuff now, and when I met you and you explained to me explicitly what we're talking about right now, this whole time that I've been on this entrepreneurial journey, I've had that inkling in the back of my mind, because remember in my first business coaching program, because I did so well right off the gates, I had a lot of people, other people in the program, they wanted to like talk to me. We would get on Zoom calls and talk about it.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I was always a little bit like skeptical of my business coach, because I would look at his Instagram, I would like scroll past his content. I'm like, bro, he hasn't been doing this for that long. And like all of his past posts were like fitness content. So at what point did he pivot to business coaching? And like he made all his money from business coaching, not fitness coaching. So I brought that up to the other people in the group to try to like get them to understand, like, guys, this is not like what you expected. Like, this is not like, something isn't right. Yep. I couldn't put it into words because I didn't understand it, but now I do after meeting you and, you know, talking to you about it. But this whole thing is kind of fucked up, because a lot of these people, you know, thankfully for me, I had a pretty good background in terms of like sales, business, because of my work experience in the gym, in the nightclub industry. I had a little bit more experience. But for a lot of these people, they're jumping into this online business space from nothing, no experience, bro. So it's like the chances of dude, I see some of these people, like their posts and the stuff they're doing, it's like, dude, you have a long way to go. Mm-hmm. And I try my best to help, but it's like, unfortunately, dude, it's just some people aren't going to be able to do it. And that's just how it is. That's how the game is. Right now, everybody's supposed to succeed.
If you haven't done it for yourself, don't do it for other people. I don't know if we want to make that the third lesson, but maybe we should. Like, if you haven't done it for yourself, do not sell it to other people. Okay? I ran ads to my own low ticket product and got a 2x ROAS before I started doing it for other people, right? And then you know, if I'm helping people with like their DM strategy or their organic approach, it's because I did it. Or if I'm helping people with fucking whatever you offer, if you offer school bus driver education classes, were you a school bus driver? Have you taught a class before in another subject to have teaching experience? Do you know how to actually sell so you can sell your program and talk to parents? Are you communicable? Are you honest? Are you open? Are you transparent? Can you deal with children that are involved in you know, being driven around by the school bus so you can educate on ethics for these school bus drivers? Like, that's just an example. But whatever you do in business, like, this is definitely lesson 3, bro. It's like, stop selling shit. Okay, here's the lesson for you guys mainly who are watching, right? 90% of the people who are selling you shit online that you're interested in potentially buying or prospecting on, they have not done themselves. So this is lesson 3 of what people haven't told you getting into entrepreneurship, which we're the first to tell you, is that people selling you stuff haven't done it themselves, okay? When I got into the consumer product space doing product development for my clients, I worked at Apple on the iPhone 14 case projects, okay? I developed the world's second fastest air-bearing levitated Hyperloop pod for SpaceX for the competition. If you don't know what I'm talking about, look it up, okay? I engineered and developed, you didn't know that? I engineered and developed real products. I was the president of Paradigm Hyperloop. I managed a team of 75 American and Canadian graduate school engineers. I was the president of Paradigm Hyperloop, managing 75 individuals across different departments. I was 22, no, what the hell am I talking about, dude? I was 20 years old, right before the pandemic. So, product development, commercial strategy, manufacturing, packaging, all that stuff, I had experience in. I have 2 degrees in mechanical engineering. I knew what I was doing. I know what I'm doing. I'm always learning. I have to humble myself by investing in mentors, but I have enough there to where, like, here's tangible value A, B, and C for my clients, right? Most of the people, 90% of the people that you're browsing Instagram stories on that you might want to buy into their program, don't vet their program or their Trustpilot, because humans are humans. They'll fuck up and they'll get a low review. Vet their LinkedIn, vet their resume, their personal portfolio website. Get professional recommendations and referrals from people in person about that individual. Talk to their old clients. We have lost touch with the old way of doing business, and the old way of doing business is what got my dad into the American dream. It's what allowed my grandparents in Brazil to make a name for themselves in the banking industry. Okay? Look up my background. I don't care if you do. Look up my last name, right? This is like old business methods should be respected, and they're being tossed in the trash today. Okay, so we talked about driving results at a scaled value. We talked about honesty and transparency. The third lesson was most people you need to vet personally because they haven't done it themselves. fourth lesson, what do you want?
I would also say,
yeah,
like at the end of the day, what do people want? More money and more time, right? You don't have to be a business owner or an entrepreneur to have more money and more time.
Literally.
Right? And we kind of briefly touched on this in the beginning.
Yep.
There are plenty of online business owners and entrepreneurs, not even online, maybe offline too, that you can work for as an employee and do a lot of great work and make 10K a month, 20K a month, 30K a month.
Definitely be lesson 4.
Right?
Yeah.
I talked about this with Ethan.
Yeah.
Bro, doing his videography stuff, I don't think people understand, like people who are not in the entrepreneur space, they don't understand how difficult it is to actually start a business and run a business and be an entrepreneur, because in the beginning you're literally wearing all the hats in your business. I don't think they understand that disconnect. Now, I'm not saying this to be like, oh, I'm a victim, this is hard. I'm not making excuses. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying, like, this is not the only path to make 10K a month, 20K a month, 30K a month.
Yeah.
Right? Like there are other ways to make money, but you're not gonna find that out by, I mean, how should I say this? You don't find that out until you actually get into the online space and spend a lot of money and realize, oh, this is actually how a business works.
It's actually hard. Oh.
This is how shit. Like it's actually hard to get clients and shit like that.
Yep.
So yeah, man, I would say it's not for everybody, and dude, like for example, I'm at a point now where I'm hiring people on my team, and where I'm going to look for people to hire on my team. These people that I've met in these various business coaching programs and masterminds that I've paid for.
Yeah.
Because I've met so many people, and like I see they're really good at what they do, but they're not quite dialed in the business aspect of things. So I would literally call them up and be like, hey man, long time no talk, no chat. Like my business has been, doing pretty well. I'm looking to bring some new people on my team, and I love what you do, and I see you struggling with your business. You don't have to be struggling with your business. You can come work for me and I'll pay you very well. Mm-hmm. So I think that's a really important thing to understand as well. I'm not saying this to discourage people to pursue their business if that's really something that they want to do, but I just want them to know that there's other options. There's nothing wrong to not be an entrepreneur.
Literally. I want you guys to understand something. When I exited grad school, with my master's in mechanical engineering, right, I was able to get job offers at Fortune 500 companies where I could have made 150K a year, as like 22 straight out of grad school, right? With only like 40K in debt. So I really managed my loan debt well. If you know relative loan debt, like 40K is nothing, right? For a grad degree. I'll tell you right now, I could have just hopped on that, right? And right now on a promotion scale, roughly, I'd probably be making 200K a year as a 23-year-old with my acumen, the college I went to, and the internship experiences I had lined up, and the promotion scale that I've seen through colleagues of mine that I still keep in touch with who are in corporate, who work a 9 to 5. Not all 9 to 5s are created equal, right? There's 2 areas that you guys should look into if the dive into entrepreneurship is logistically too challenging for you. People will make excuses on your behalf, and they'll goad you into their program. They'll tell you, oh, you don't want to sacrifice everything? Your time with your family, your soul, and all your money that you've saved up from college? Okay, start an agency. If you don't, you're a failure. People will convince you and allow you to fall into the trap of being a bad figure, if they will, in your life, online and social media. Tell me, have you ever had dinner with these people that you look up to online? You've never sat down and had a real dinner table moment with these people, yet you want to give them 10K of your money. Are you fucking kidding me? That's why you need to vet them personally. And what I'm saying to you is, right, people will tell you, oh, you're averse to risk, you'll never succeed unless you invest in my program. It's all a sales tactic, right? I want you guys to understand something. Go get your paper in a decent 9 to 5. Go work a trade. Trades are excellent, bro. HVAC, you can make 100K as an 18-year-old. Bust your ass in a trade, get a decent associate's degree if you can afford to, piggyback off of a local grant or scholarship, network in person. Take that money, continue to work that job, make a high 5 or a low 6 figures your first year if you have that skill set. Once again, trades are great. And then take 20-30% of your saved income and put that into your agency or your business that you want to start in the evenings, on the weekends. Scale into your first 10K a month, and you can do that without a course, no problem. I can tell you that right now. So I think that we should respect 9-to-5ers that have a lucrative position. You know, I know people that work banking jobs, that work engineering, lawyers, doctors. They make great money. They're happy. They help people. They don't need to get into entrepreneurship. Why? Because they have a real estate portfolio on the side, making 12% a year. They've got a cash value life savings account. They've got infinite banking. They've got their credit lined up, 800 credit. They make 200K a year salary before bonuses and like, hell yeah, that's fantastic. That's fucking fantastic. But people are like, you have to be an entrepreneur. You can also be a CMO or a growth operator, as Hagen said, inside of an agency. And by the way, that's the way that you make money before you can invest into programs for your own business. Like,
if you want to.
That's what, if you want to, that's what I'm saying. There's nothing wrong with a traditional career. It's very respectable. Someone has to flip the burgers. Someone has to engineer the airplanes. Hopefully not Boeing, because there's a whole situation there. Someone has to, build the manufacturing facilities. That's powerful, impactful, loyal, hard work that deserves recognition. And you will not find that in the get rich fast space online, and I think it's disingenuous. While you talk your shit, I'm gonna grab a water.
Okay, yeah. I will say this though. Our message isn't to tell you, hey, this is bad, don't do this instead. That's not our message. Our message is just telling you, hey, this is how things are. At the end, you can make a decision of what you want to do. Like, if you want to be an entrepreneur, if you want to start your own business, by all means, go for it. But
anyone can do it,
right? But understand that it's going to require a lot of time, energy, effort, sacrifice, and you have to understand that it's not going to be that easy, right? So I don't want to come off as I'm bashing entrepreneurs and online businesses, because I'm very successful. I was able to make a lot of money, and I'm going to continue to be very successful. All I'm saying, I think all we're saying is just explaining the situation, the reality of the situation, and just speaking the truth and just being honest. And at the end, you can make a decision of what you want to do.
Yep, literally. Yeah. It's hard regardless. You guys want to succeed in life? It's hard, okay? Do you want a beautiful, long-lasting marriage? That's going to require sacrifice. Do you want a relationship with God or whatever faith you're in? That's going to require sacrifice. Time, energy, capital, the 3 big levers. Do you want to take care of your children in more meaningful ways? Build that playground in the backyard, finance it, build that tree house, stuff like that. That's going to require sacrifice. Do you want to work a job, scale in, and make a meaningful impact at a company or an organization? That requires a sacrifice. Do you want to start a small business entrepreneurship? That requires a sacrifice. Every aspect to life requires a sacrifice. You want to have a fucking pool party. You still need to bring out the floaties, text your friends and organize who's coming, organize cleanup and setup, get music out there, barbecue, get the materials and get the steaks and all that stuff. I know you guys don't look at fun as sacrifice. Guess what? We live in this condition called life. Everything, including the highest levels of fun, music festivals, theme parks, require planning, consideration, execution, and follow-up. Everything in life has an element of sacrifice. So what do you want to do? Unfortunately, everyone in the online space who's running these network marketing schemes will tell you it has to be my way or the highway. No, it's your way or the highway. You just got to remember that. It is your way or the highway, right? Every offer is going to tell you it'll make you rich. Think about that. If every other offer is going to tell you it's going to make you rich, and a dice has 6 sides and rolling one results in one true outcome, then tell me how that statistically works out in your favor. You have to evaluate what's best for yourself, right? You got to stick up for yourself. Lesson number 5, you will be broke multiple times and in lots of debt. You will have lots of debt.
And you have to be okay with that.
And you have to be okay.
You have to be okay with that. And this is very interesting, because I was just browsing on YouTube the other day, and I was looking at these videos of people talking about how they got scammed by this online coach, they got scammed by this agency, yada, 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 right? You have to understand, that's part of the game. I told you, right? I've invested tens of thousands of dollars in business coaches, masterminds, programs, courses. I'm not complaining about it. because I understand that this is part of the game and I'm learning. I failed, whatever, I wasted money. Okay, but I learned from that. I learned what not to do.
Yeah.
And every time I invested in myself, I learned more and I leveled up a little bit.
Yeah.
All the most successful people online or entrepreneurs, even online or offline, they talk about all the time how they've invested thousands of dollars in coaches and masterminds. So like I was saying, like we were talking about in point 4, was it 3 or 4? You have to be, like, if you're gonna make a decision to go down this entrepreneur path, don't be afraid to invest in yourself and don't complain about it when it doesn't work. Like if you're gonna go in, go all in. I saw this video of this guy on YouTube and he was like interviewing some other person and they were both like bashing on like online people. I don't think that's what we're doing. We're just telling you the truth. And this dude was just complaining, just yelling in the camera.
We're filling in the
I was 30K in debt, blah, blah, blah. He was just fucking crying on camera. I'm like, bro, I spent almost 70 grand on all these different online things. I'm not fucking crying. I took an L, whatever. I'm gonna keep going because I already invested into this and I'm not gonna give up. So I think that would be lesson number 5.
I just got off the phone with a fellow agency owner of mine who's one of the most brilliant guys I know, who works with me as a fractional consultant. He's in 5 figures of debt. I'm in 5 figures of debt and Hagen's in 5 figures of debt. Sorry to put you under the bus.
You're good, man.
Put you under the bus. We're all 5 figures in fucking debt. Your favorite influencer is not going to tell you that they owe 150K to Chase even though they make $1 million a year and that they spend all their money on their infrastructure. Why? Because people aren't honest. People think that their whole ego, their testicles fall off when they talk about their debt. Your testicles will remain intact on your frame the next morning if you tell people the honest truth, right? Most people I know that we network with in person, online, have debt. And guess what? I still buy into this. He still buys into this. Are the people we're connected to still buy into us? We buy into them. We share in the family. We connect with, good friends. Like we got a guy, Kyle, who plugs into like different routes of savings and financing. We've got credit stacking guys that we're talking to. Okay. Where there's a will, there's a way. And you have to connect to people that are authentic, once again, to save your ass, which I think is point 2 or 3. And if you do that, you will continue to succeed, okay? Success is not a linear path. It is very squiggly, rocky, and everything. But the general trend, you want to be up, right? And so what I'll say to you is that the only time you can really, truly fail is by giving up. You will have nights where you don't know if the next day you'll be able to put food on the table. You will have nights where you don't know where your next sale is going to come from. You will have nights where you got to look your girlfriend in the eye and say, I'm sorry, baby. I want to give you more attention. This is real, by the way. I want to give you more attention, but I think we have to have a break because I have to focus on being able to make a way so that maybe one day I can come back to you and love you in a much more meaningful way. Bro, no one's willing to talk like I'm
bro.
This is real, bro.
Yeah.
So you guys got to understand, you're going to get hurt, okay, really bad multiple times. And your favorite rich people online, very few are cash rich. Very few are producing like real profit in their businesses. And a lot of them are just able to live a financed life that's in kind of connection or perpetuity with their the growth of their business. So a lot of people, they'll make like $1 million gross profit. They'll spend $1 million back on marketing and lifestyle. And then they'll make $2 million the next year off of leverage. And then they'll spend that $2 million. And then they'll have a meaningful life. It'll be decent. They'll have great memories and they'll do all the rich stuff, have the cars, have the houses, all that stuff. And when they retire, they won't have much to give to their kindred. So you guys really like, you got to play the long game. Don't think about the fast speed, all that stuff, like none of that, right? And understand that you will get burnt, you will get broken. And by having conversations like this, hopefully we can completely change the online space because it needs to be wiped clean of the scum and the filth of people being dishonest and people selling everything under the sun, okay? Sell real products, sell real services, sell real transformations, apologize when things don't go the way you intended them to, be honest with your clients and the people that you're connected with, meet over lunch, meet over coffee, spend money on people even though they didn't spend on you. Like, bro, these are just old school, old money principles that make life worth it. That's at least you can look back and say that I had a meaningful experience. And it's going to take multiple iterations before you get to that final product or service stack where your brand is in alignment with your revenue, which is in alignment with your profit, which is in alignment with your lifestyle. Once you get alignment on all of those strings, then we can say, as long as you didn't scam anyone or didn't hurt anyone in the process, you're a real fucking class act.
Agree, 100%.
Yeah, sick. This has been a great episode 2 of Cheap Product Uncensored. Do you want to leave anybody with anything?
No, I would just say, really make a decision. Like after listening to what we discussed today in this episode, like make a decision of what you want to do. And either way, like go all in. Don't be 1 foot in, 1 foot out. The people that I've met that are like trying to do this online business thing, this entrepreneur thing, the ones that fail and the ones that are stagnant are always like 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Yeah. Like I recently had a conversation with somebody. He's like, oh yeah, I took 2 weeks off, because I needed a mental break.
What the fuck?
I'm like, bro, how can you take 2 weeks off? If I took 2 weeks off,
I'd be depressed.
Bro, I would be depressed, but then my business, my momentum would go, like I would go negative, bro. So
I've never taken a day off since I started.
Yeah, me neither.
Like in some
Every
capacity.
Day. Yeah.
Like don't get me wrong. Okay, I'm on vacation. 80% of the day is on the boat or this or that or whatever. But then you best believe that 20% I'm getting my DMs and I'm getting my emails and I'm responding to clients and doing fulfillment. So there's days where you could look at it and be like, you motherfucker, this is a leisure day comparatively, right? But I've never not touched my business every day.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And so, dude, it's so hard to describe. When you're in it and you care so much about it, that's when you don't have to worry about being 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Because for me, like, dude, I get so anxious if I'm not working on my dream.
Yep.
So anxious. Like, it's crazy, bro. Like, I'm like, I didn't do anything. Like, I have to do something. I didn't send at least a text message to follow up. If I didn't do something, I'm off the deep end, bro. I'm like, what did I do today, man? I didn't do anything. So, and some days, by the way, part of being an entrepreneur is having days of balance. So, for example, Easter, that was a family day. I didn't touch work, right? Why? Because being with family and being intentional in the moment with that aspect of my life allowed me to have positive momentum when I woke up the next morning, knowing that I didn't have to fill that pot as much anymore. Like I spent the time with family. That anxiety that was causing brain lag is no longer there because I knew I spent valuable time with family. So tomorrow is going to be a better, like heavy momentum. And it ended up, the Monday after Easter ended up being crazy for me. So in a good way. So you guys just got to remember what Hagen said, which is just like all in. No 1 foot in, 1 foot out, man. Yeah,
because if you're gonna be 1 foot in, 1 foot out, then this isn't for you. Like this business thing, this entrepreneurship, it isn't for you. I talk about this all the time on my own channel about fitness, right? About fitness transformation. And like if any of you guys watching this are overweight or out of shape, when you make a commitment to your fitness journey, you better fucking go all in.
Yep.
Right? You can't. I can't tell you how many people I've met, clients that I've tried to help, that they're really good for like 3 months, 4 months, and then like around 5 month mark, that's typically when I see they just completely fall off and they just ghost me. And then they're just on and off, and then the 1 month turns into 2 months, into 3 months, 6 months, a year, and then they completely fall off, and it's like they never, all the results that they got, all the progress that they got, gone. Because you couldn't handle it anymore. And that's just a mental thing, bro. It's like if you're not willing to do what it takes, then don't fucking do it.
Yeah, it's true.
So,
Hagen, can I be a good father, or can a woman watching this be a good mother if they're 1 foot in, 1 foot out with their child?
Of course not.
Okay. Yeah. Can I be a good husband, boyfriend if I'm 1 foot in, 1 foot out in the relationship?
Of course not, bro.
So then why the fuck are you guys doing that with your business?
Yeah.
Right? Can I be 1 foot in, 1 foot out with losing fat? No. Can't do it. So this is the thing, man, is put aside how you might feel when we say 1 foot in, 1 foot out in business. Okay? Because it is hard. Think about everything in life. You can't be 1 foot in, 1 foot out. You just can't, right? You got to commit to the things that you set out as goals, right? And oftentimes, committing to things you didn't set as goals is actually better than half committing to goals that you set. Committing to things that come your way and just having commitment in place is actually oftentimes better than like being half-assed on stuff that's intentional. Yeah. Like it just like commitment goes a long way. And a lot of the stuff we talked about, honesty, accountability, transparency, transacting on a face-to-face level, not hurting people, apologizing if you inadvertently hurt people, because we're human. Like therapists, their job is to provide therapy. Sometimes they end up hurting the client. What's their first act that they got to do under like the regulations of being a therapist, right? They gotta work it out with the client and mend it and apologize, right? So you guys got to take that approach, man, with everything. All right. that's it. I think that's a wrap.
Yeah.
Sick.
So this is going to be on your channel, but for those of you guys who don't know me, if you want to look up me on YouTube, Hagen Wong, HagenWong.
All this stuff's gonna be in the description. His Instagram, everything that where you can find him.
Yep. For those of you guys who are struggling with your fitness.
Yep.
I got
He's
you.
got a $10 PDF, which is 24 pages long,
Yep.
which gets you right. It's like a good starting ground.
Start
I'm gonna
with
link
that.
that down in good faith below in the description. Check it out. Don't check it out. If you're serious about your fitness, it's worth a shot. It's $10. Doesn't hurt you. And that's about it.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right.